said Paris seems somehow sadly gay. The glory that was Rome is of another day. I've been terribly alone.
Call me strange for thinking about this, or even making this video. I'm trying to do something a little bit different. I'm trying to do a little something different on this video. Recently, I was in the Bay Area. While driving across the Golden State Bridge, for some reason, my mind went fictional. And when I mean it went fictional, I was imagining a big giant lizard attacking the Golden State Bridge, tearing the bridge up in multiple pieces, just like this right here. But as I was driving on my merry way to Half Moon Bay, I thought about the many times San Francisco has been blitzkrieged by animals, earthquakes, nukes, and major film. Since the 1937 musical drama Disaster San Francisco, which actually depicts the fictional events surrounding the terrible 1906 Great San Francisco earthquake that ravaged the city. It's a terrible earthquake. So was 89, right before I was born. But anyways, before I go on, intro please. Over the years, San Francisco has been the subject of various disaster films from Hollywood. Yeah, that's called them Hollywood. In 1955, the film It Came From Beneath the Sea, a giant radioactive squid attacks the city, destroying the Golden State Bridge and other key landmarks around the city. As a kid, I had a misconception that the 1974 disaster film Earthquake was actually about San Francisco being wrecked by an earthquake, simply because Universal Studios Florida placed the fan favorite attraction Earthquake, the big one, in the San Francisco area of the park that no longer exists. Sad. But in the attraction setting takes part at a BART station, subway station in San Francisco. Ooh, I was wrong about that. The film actually took place in Los Angeles, even having a mural of Los Angeles on the ride queue line. But San Francisco was mentioned. I think one of the characters ended up flying to San Francisco to avoid an earthquake, as I remember from that film. I think I only seen that film twice. But I guess I can include the Towering Inferno. It's not really a, the city being blasted, but it did take location in San Francisco. The film is about the world's tallest tower in the world, the glass tower, being inflicted with fires. That's it. 70s was a weird time for disaster films. There's disaster films all around the block coming from Hollywood. Now, there's been other times when you've seen the city either in the process of being destroyed and already in ruins. Example, Superman, The Core, Hulk rampaging in the streets, Magneto pulling the Golden State Bridge from its core and transfer it to Alcatraz Island. Now thinking back at that, shoot, now it's almost like peak superhero form. I'm not even gonna go there. This is not a superhero video. But from 2013 to 2015, it feels like Hollywood was just picking on the US 17th largest city. It seems that way, starting with Star Trek Into Darkness. Then it was Pacific Rim in the same year, Kaiju wrecking that famed bridge once again.
Cities were destroyed. Tens of thousands of lives were lost.
Now let's shift to the next year in 2014, where we got another kaiju / monster film, Godzilla, the beginning of the monsterverse. Well, Godzilla decided to use his heroic efforts to defeat two no good for nothing monsters who took over the city to use it as a nesting ground.
Let them fight.
Godzilla and those Mutos really wrecked the city. Like, within the Monsterverse time, I don't think the city really hasn't fully recovered. But it can be worse. You can be Boston, blown to atoms in the Godzilla sequel, King of Monsters. You always can be like that. Not even existing anymore. Well, after 2014, 2015 came around, as you know. That's how it usually goes with numbers and everything in years. We received the mess that we call San Andreas, starring The Rock, really giving San Francisco a good rock-ass whooping in this movie. Earthquakes, tsunami, as The Rock travels a tsunami wall with a boat in the middle of San Francisco Bay. Oh my goodness. The film was just utter CGI garbage. And then next, it was a nuke and Terminator. How do you pronounce this? Genesis Giant? Whatever. Terminator films have just gotten whack. But in this film, we see in the beginning a nuke destroyed the city in the first 2 minutes of the film while Kyle Reese is in the middle of his monologue. It wasn't just one nuke, it was two nukes that blew the city to shreds. It just seems like Hollywood doesn't really like that city at all. But Terminator Genesis, or Giants, or whatever you want to call it, wasn't the first time we actually seen the city ruins in that franchise. We did see it ruined in Terminator Salvation, a better film. Terminator Genesis, I wish I could forget about that film. Dark Fate too. But Hollywood just doesn't like the Golden State Bridge. Doesn't seem that way. In most films, filmmakers make sure to show that bridge getting toppled. And then a little bit with the Transamerica Pyramid Tower not far behind. Now, they never really showed the Oakland Bay Bridge or Oakland getting nuked. Well, actually, in real life, I referred to this earlier, Bay Bridge did suffer some damage in the 1989 earthquake. But filmmakers use these landmarks because, you know, the landmarks are known to the common folk, recognizable, as people associate the Golden State Bridge with the city. Well, recently, Hollywood has given San Francisco a break for now from the destruction, unless somebody else says something about it. But I do recall it was shown almost half empty after Thanos did his thing in Avengers. What's the name of the movie called? It's been so long ago now. Oh, yeah. Infinity War. And actually got to see the results of what happened to that city in Endgame as Paul Rudd returns from the quantum realm, traversing the almost half-empty city. And recently, there's been some superhero movies that use San Francisco as a backdrop. Venom, Ant-Man, of course. Currently, in real life, the city is getting beat down by bad leaders, theft and shit. But if Hollywood needs a notable city to destroy, there's always San Francisco, but nothing compares to the treatment that San Francisco's neighbor to the south receives. To be continued.